concede the continental shelf and get away with it. So this was about election, remember? So Tinubu revealed that Alex Ekweme was actually the AD's preferred PDP candidate and expressed regret about his defeat. So the governor said that the AD wanted Ekweme to run and even win because it was a civilian and civilian governments are more responsive to governor's interests. But Tinubu said that Ekweme did not have a chance because he made critical blunders early on, including insufficient funding and starting his campaign too late. So the ambassador led the governor down a discussion of other winners and losers in the electoral season thus far. Both the ambassador and the governor agreed that the biggest winners were the governors and Atiku, who proved their relevance and weight in the primary process by controlling Obasanjo's fate. National Security Advisor Aliyu Muhammad Gusau, remember, was a bigger loser, Tinubu said. He now has no prospect in government for 2003 and is out in the political court struggling for his survival. So Ambassador Jetta pointed out the IBB didn't deliver and was possibly the biggest loser of all despite having his tentacles in 5 parties. So Tinubu agreed, saying that IBB was hitting like beef between 2 slices of bread. Tinubu said that IBB's problem began when Atiku refused to take IBB's bait to break with Obasanjo. He then considered that if Atiku himself had decided to run, Tinubu was planning to be Atiku's vice presidential running mate. So Ambassador Jetta shifted the discussion to state and local politics, asking the governor's thought on political hotspots. The governor said that election violence in Kwara State was inevitable because ANPP's governor Lawal was willing to play hardball in order to win the election. Tinubu postulated that Governor Lawal and PDP's Olusaraki would likely split the vote in the center of the state. Lai Mohammed, former Tinubu's chief of staff, will be strong in the south, while the northern part of the state will be up for grabs. So the governor also predicted problems in Anambra, Enugu, Plateau, and Kaduna. In Kaduna, Governor Tinubu said he expected the AD candidate to win. Note, not likely. End note. He is also expecting AD victories in Borno and perhaps even Benue states. Note, Borno is possibility, but Benue is out of range. End note. So with his path to re-election relatively clear, Tinubu's most serious opponent is his own past and allegation of forged educational degrees that continue to hound him. More recent allegation that Tinubu forfeited $460,000 in the US to avoid charges of money laundering and even narcotic trafficking are the latest unconfirmed scandals. However, Tinubu appeared confident during this recent session. He overcame the allegation in 1999 and believes he can do the same this time around. As always, so which means this issue of trafficking, heroin trafficking is not new, just so you know. So turning the normal, okay, hang on. Yeah, as always, we found his take on the national political scene to be insightful, yeah, because it's deeper in them. And turning the normal political, Atiku, his assessment of the winners and losers tracks our own, the Americans. Atiku and the governors were clear winners, turning the normal political dynamic on his head. Obasanjo won because he was able to ride the coattails of his vice president. Big losers were Alex Ekweme, NSA Mohammed, and former head of state Babangida. So this was a conversation between Tinubu and the American ambassador to Nigeria back then. Now, here is another one. Out of the WikiLeaks, convo exposed, Tinubu's expose, so to say. All right, here is another one. Let me see if I can bring that up. Right. So this one is, according to them, confidential as well. So Lagos Governor views on Iraq, national elections, and AGOA, other. Let me see if I put that up properly. Yes, I did. Grand. Now, this is Tinubu being very much comfortable, all right, to share, some will say, well, these are just like normal political observations that are already in public and all that, right? Well, maybe not, okay? Here. So they said the Lagos governor told Congress, what is Congen? Give me a sec. Right. So, and DAS Bridgewater on February 16 that he has asked the Lagos State Assembly to issue a resolution declaring that no new construction be permitted along Embassy Road. I think this one is on how he, he facilitated whatever it was then for the American embassy, around there his own estate in Bodilon back then, okay, in Victoria Island. Here. On Victoria, Tinubu assured the Congress Jen or so, right, that it would do all it can to ensure protection of consular and diplomatic personnel in Lagos. He shared our view that the dispute with Iraq relates to weapons of mass destruction, not Islam. And he is confident that most of his co-religionists share this view. So Tinubu pledged to work closely with the legislators who will be elected or re-elected to the National Assembly to secure passage of a customs bill, inaction on which has prevented Nigeria from benefiting from AGOA. That's, Tinubu disclosed antipathy for President Obasanjo, but praised the Vice President Atiku, whom he has known for many years. So Atiku ended up going to Tinubu's party, by the way, when Obasanjo got him frustrated out of PDP in 2006, 2007. So during a luncheon for visiting DAS Pamela Bridgewater on February 16, Lagos Governor Tinubu assured the DAS and accompanying contingent that his office will do all it can to ensure protection of the consulate in the event of war with Iraq. Tinubu added that he has asked the Lagos State Assembly to issue a resolution declaring that no new construction be permitted along the, just a repetition there. That's another one. Here is another one, which is also from the cable too, right? Which one is this? Option 4, 2007. Okay, well, this one is probably where he was grassing on some of the candidates and then the prospects and how the 2007 election was going to be, again, political. Discussing this with an American ambassador, which are very much keen, right, on what they, where or who to picture their tent on or so, right? So here is one. Said in an August 27 conversation with Consul General, so Lagos Governor Bola Tinubu stressed he was urging his bets and political ambition on the 2007 election by no longer placing sole reliance on riding the cocktails of Vice President Atiku, even though Atiku was going to be the candidate of AC at the time, right? But Tinubu confessed to this ambassador or consul general then that is not really like banking on, so Tinubu sensed that Atiku's stock was declining and could descend further. It thinks that Atiku will leave the PDP and thus weaken the party. So Tinubu vaticinated that National Security Advisor Aliyu Gusso, a Babangida loyalist who has amassed sensitive, damning information on many of the players, could emerge as a key broker and perhaps dark horse in the PDP presidential scramble. So consequently, Tinubu has held meetings with 2003 presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari and former head of state Babangida. While Tinubu wants to be somebody's vice presidential candidate, he also eyes a senatorial seat as a possible alternative. So Tinubu no longer sees Atiku as a likely winner of the PDP presidential nomination. So said the option of being a vice president candidate for Atiku. So during a relaxed August 27 evening meeting with Consul General, Lagos State Governor Tinubu provided his analysis of the current electoral topography, particularly in the rival People's Democratic Party. Although now in different political parties, Governor Tinubu and Vice President Atiku have a close relationship dating back to the early 90s. Their friendship is one that defies party lines and perhaps political logic. Whispered in the back room as well as heard in the public domain by less discreet tongues has been the possibility of an Atiku Tinubu ticket. under the banner of a new progressive party. In the past, Tinubu has talked with verve to us about this option. At this last meeting, however, he was more cautious. Tinubu was noticeably less sanguine about Atifu's presidential chances. Atifu's position within the PDP has weakened considerably. Tinubu assessed. Atiku has lost his grip on the National Executive Committee as President Obasanjo has successfully esconded loyalists there. Obasanjo is also applying heavy pressure through the EFCC on Atiku's other main intra-party allies, the PDP state governors. Tinubu felt that many of these governors will wilt under the pressure and make amends with the president, thus further undermining Atiku's position within the party. Tinubu maintained it will take a political miracle for Atiku to gain the PDP presidential nomination. Alternatively, if Atiku left the party, his exit will be precipitated by a defeat for the party nomination. The faction born of defeat will not augur well for the fate of the new party Atiku will form, Tinubu forecasted. Nonetheless, in the next breath, Tinubu voiced eagerness at joining Atiku in a different party in order to fight the Obasanjo machine. Tinubu observed Obasanjo was almost an neuralgic about former head of state Babangida becoming the PDP nominee as about Atiku's possible ascension. Given this feuding triangle, Tinubu thought each man would do his best to play the other two against themselves. This three-way tug war might not produce anything but a political stalemate, requiring a compromise candidate. Enter NSA Aliyu Muhammad Gusso. Tinubu commented that Gusso has strong ambition, but is careful not to encroach on turf staked out by Babangida, Gusso's mentor. However, Babangida will give Gusso a nod if Babangida himself was foreclosed. Babangida would rather see a loyal surrogate than an Obasanjo proxy win the prize. Additionally, Gusso, as NSA, purportedly has dossiers embarrassing to both Obasanjo and Atiku, Tinubu maintained. At the right time, Gusso could brandish these files to douse Obasanjo's and Atiku's ardor while promoting either Babangida's or his own ambition. The benefit that Gusso would serve to the likes of Babangida, Obasanjo, and Atiku is that among the major players, he knows how to keep secrets, and he will be least likely to publicly hear others' dirty linen. Vice President Buhari, in light of Atiku's mayor, Tinubu has begun to edge by holding discussions with Muhammadu Buhari of the ANPP about the vice presidential slot on a Buhari ticket. Buhari finished second to Obasanjo in the highly controversial 2003 elections. What was not controverted by most objective analysts was that Buhari won a sizable majority of the northern vote. If he is to run again, he needs a southern vice president candidate who can command a large voting bloc. Assuming he continued to control the north in 2007, all Buhari needs to take the election is to win one of the three southern states, Tinubu calculated. So Tinubu said his command of the AD in the southwest and his close connections with 4 of the 6 south governors, Ibori of Delta, Igbinedion of Edo, Apa of Akwa Ibom, and Alamesia of Bayelsa. All of these guys were, 2 of them were convicted of, looting. They are a bunch of looters and criminals though. Ata, Ibori, Igbinedion, and Alamesia, except for Ata, who eventually got a plea bargain for looting their state. They are all friends to Tinubu, by the way, so it makes him an attractive partner to Buhari. The drawback to teaming either with Atiku or Buhari is that this will produce an all-Muslim presidential ticket. Why Tinubu did not see this as a big problem with Atiku, due to Atiku's noted religious laxity and his pro-Western outlook, it would be a heavy cross to bear for a Buhari-Tinubu ticket because of the perception in many southern Nigerian minds that Buhari is a religious zealot. Because of this factor, Tinubu asserted he had begun to shift his focus, which had been exclusively on the vice presidency, to see the Senate as a nice place to land upon exiting the governor's mansion. To be a Senate president, Tinubu said he is seriously considering the Senate in 2007. This will be an easier campaign, and given his political hold in Lagos, one more likely achieved than a run at becoming the nation's number 2 citizen. If he selected this route, he will support either Buhari or Atiku, with the understanding that if either one, Tinubu will be appointed Senate president, the number 3 citizens in Nigeria. Moreover, he also believes he could influence the selection of either Atiku's or Buhari's running mates, the AD, Lagos and Southwest. Closer to home, Tinubu stated he was under intense pressure from the half-dozen AD candidates to anoint a successor in Lagos. He said he will resist the pressure and hold an impartial primary. Whoever won will get his blessing. The governor revealed, however, that local electoral politics was making a casualty of orderly governance in the state. State commissioners with gubernatorial ambitions had their knives drawn at each other and were rapidly factionalizing the party and government. Tinubu said he might be faced, for the sake of ease and Lagos state government sanity, to demand all potential candidates resign their government positions. Despite this turmoil, Tinubu expressed confidence the AD would recapture the Lagos gubernatorial seats. He also predicted that the AD would have a good chance in the other southwestern states, particularly Ondo and Osun, where the one-time PDP governors have distinguished themselves by their ineptitude. So here is their own comment. Reading the writing on the wall and getting a good sense of its likely conclusion, Tinubu is exploring options other than his old friend Atiku. Although Tinubu expressed confidence and felt himself to be in a strong position to influence national politics, reality might be a lot less generous. Currently, the options to realize his vice presidential ambition are thin and getting thinner. He maintains a degree of popularity in Lagos. His strategy to concentrate on running for the Senate for Lagos and on shoring up the AD in the Southwest are less expansive than what we have heard from him or prior meetings. They are also much more realistic. End of comments. Now, these were just the record of some of the supposed confidential chats that were wired back while the Americans were trying to, gauge the supposed, check the pulse, the political pulse of the country via their supposed surrogate assets. Now back to who Tinubu truly was and maybe still is, the drug dealer. The record is in public, like I said, and here is one of them. I am going to put that on the screen again as well. This is for those who probably, I think we will start with the drug dealing in Illinois, in Chicago. But this is the biggest one, okay? We'll come back to this. Let's first go and look at the first FBI documents released of Tinubu of his drug dealing in Chicago, as well as the northern, I think it's Nevada or so. Don't rush. So when we call him a drug dealer, it is not a defamation, okay? It is a fact that is out there in public. Usually on this platform, we've had this before, okay? But if this is to just refresh your mind, what happened in America just on the 11th of November, 2024, is the request by Greenspan, so to say, the lawyers to, or the partner to David Hundeyin, that are filing what is called the FOIA, appeal. They have started fighting for the release of all the Tinubu records with the FBI, all the Tinubu's record with the DEA, all the Tinubu's criminal record with the CIA. And on the first part, Tinubu won in a Chicago court where the judge said Tinubu's privacy is paramount. Okay, that he has the right to privacy, even though the argument is that no, for the sake of public interest, Tinubu's criminal record is very crucial. This was way back in 2022. His record for the public is very crucial. It's no longer a private individual. All right. So he won where the court said, even if they have to release some of these documents, right, they must make sure that it's redacted, which means wherever Tinubu's and other people's names appear, they should blank them out to make the entire document useless from reading. Here you get. But before then, the court granted that they should release some of these documents, like, declassify them and release them. But when the plaintiff, Ondeni and the Grispan, right, when they check all these documents, they felt like there is more. We believe that from our findings, right, there is more of Tinubu's record with the FBI, with the CIA, with the DEA. Therefore, we are using the FOIA, request, which by law means that they have to release all those documents. That was when Tinubu said, if they released all this record, it will cause an irreparable damages to him. So this was now in 2023. But the one they released to the public in 2022, which is still in public, they can't take that back anymore, is this one. Now, I can go through it with you, and this is the record of Tinubu's drug dealing between 1991 and 1994. Okay, it's the information of Indianapolis and Chicago, Minnesota, on and on like that. Sure, you get all the details of Tinubu's, investigation of Tinubu's drug dealing in America. Okay, so I'll scroll it down to where it is readable. Sure, you get now. Let's see. Let's take a look at this one. The person that was being investigated, who happened to be Tinubu's drug dealing partner, right? His name is Lee Andrew Edwards. Okay, a drug-related homicide, dated November 28, 1990, as captioned. For information of IP, several of the individuals in reference communication have appeared for visas at the U.S. Embassy in Lome for travel to the U.S. So IP investigating, IP will expeditiously advise intelligence research of the DIU if the subjects and the companies are definitely tied to drug smuggling and or captioned case. So look at this, right? Now, I'm going to scroll it down to where it is readable, okay? So Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, communication message from, again, these are just like the intro, okay? Intro to what you are still going to see, right? Again, let's keep going. See? Okay, let me see if I can read this out. It's captioned, investigation was initiated by Indianapolis FBI during March 1991. It was approved as an, what's this, OCDETF matter on July 31, 1990. Initially, this investigation focused on the heroin trafficking activities of subject Lee Andrew Edwards during the period August 16, 1990 through October 14, 1990. Okay, so on, like that. So supposed to be document, okay? So give me a sec. I think this is the redacted one. Hang on, oh. This is the redacted one. This one was like the one they released. Yeah, you see all those places where you are seeing blank, blank, blank. They are filled with Tinubu's name. So this is the one they released last year. Okay, let's go to the ones that they didn't redact. See, this is why it is not readable. You see, they are removing the names of Tinubu. This is the one they released last year.